Today we're shooting portraits with the Hasselblad 907x. We're using the XCD 55mm f2.5 on it, which is similar to a 40mm f2 on full frame. We're gonna see how good it is for portraits. We have our beautiful model, Serena, here. Then we're gonna go back to the studio and we're gonna check out how these photos were for the portraits, the detail, everything like that on the computer afterwards. But for now, let's get to shooting.
That's the whole camera?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a Hasselblad. It's like very expensive.
Dang.
Yeah, look straight on. This. Yeah, that's perfect. Do one looking out towards the window. Hold that. Just lay your head down on the couch. I'm gonna do like a top-down one. It's gonna be weird. Yeah, like that. And then maybe head that way into the arm. Yeah, just like that. Let's do one or some just normal standing up ones. Come over here actually. Let's get some more depth in there. This looks so good. Yeah, it's sick. Look up at the camera, this one. So the crazy thing about this camera, it's 100 megapixels, so it's like,
So you can see my pores and everything. Oh, it's like a mirror.
it's a little wild, Yeah, keep holding this. Do you want to do another outfit? Yeah, okay. Whatever you want. Go hands up the hat like you're putting on. Okay. Yeah, that would have been sick. That one there, so that one's tracking me, which it ain't tracking anymore. Did it die or something? Why is it black? This is gonna be a great dynamic range test because outside is super bright, in here is a little bit dark. So Serena's extremely backlit. And the nice thing about the Hasselblad is that it takes 16-bit raw photos with the medium format sensor. So we should be able to bring back all that detail, the shadow detail and the highlight detail without blowing her out. Get like kind of like an HDR looking shot. Bring it super dark. Leave that arm. Yeah, just put that one down. That one can go, same thing, yeah. Good. Going for some close-ups. Go a little bit more down. Yeah, like that. Looks so cool.
Nice.
What am I doing? This thing has a flip screen. This looks fine.
What are we doing?
We're doing a shot with Cops Donuts because they're like the best donuts in Toronto. Not sponsored, not an ad for this, but we'll see.
Sponsor us.
We'll see how it actually, honestly, if Cops wants to sponsor us because best donuts in the city, for sure. Even holding the box up, and it's kind of like a very, yeah, like this. This is very like vintage type of shot. Just hold this, straight like that. Even if you just bring it a little bit more down. Yeah. Okay, go for it. Go for the, yeah, go for the donut. If you can rest your head and then look this way. Your arm can go back like that, yeah. Look off to the window again. Now let me get one close up. The Hasselblad is fun to shoot on. I don't find it weird. The only thing is because it has a tilt screen, not a flip screen. I think I'm used to the flip screen on the Sonys and stuff like that, that if I'm doing like a top-down shot, I can't really see the screen unless I do it like the old like film way where you kind of like flip the camera upside down and then tilt the screen and then like shoot it like that. I just didn't do that, but yeah, overall, it's good. I'm shooting pretty high. It's getting dark in here, so I'm shooting at like 3200 ISO, but you don't really have to worry about it. I took some photos in lower light situations. On the Hasselblad app, they have their Hasselblad noise reduction feature, and it actually removes the noise quite a bit, so yeah. Detail is unreal.
Dang.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh yeah, it looks so good. Okay, we're back from yesterday's shoot with the Hasselblad. We're on the computer to look at the photos, see how they turned out. Now, the first thing going into this shoot that I was a little bit concerned about was the file sizes. Now, the Hasselblad has 1 terabyte of internal storage, so having enough storage wasn't the issue. It was more the amount of photos I take, the amount of storage it's going to take up later when I throw it onto a hard drive. Now, I took about, let me see here, 263 photos. Now, each file is about 200 MB, 250. I saw one that had a lot of color in it that was about 300. First thing I noticed was obviously pulling up that shadow detail. Take maybe this one here. There's a lot of dark areas in this image. You can see our histogram is pushed all the way to the left. Now, as for settings, I was shooting at ISO 3200, and the 907X doesn't have image stabilization. So I didn't want to risk shooting anything under like 1/100 for my shutter speed because I didn't want to get any of those micro jitters. So I had no problem boosting the ISO, knowing that, now sure, I'm editing these in Lightroom. The Hasselblad app, the Focus app, actually has Hasselblad noise reduction in there, and it's actually really good. So I didn't have a problem with boosting my ISO, knowing that I'm going to be able to remove some of that noise later in post, if I get any noise. Now, there's a lot of darks in this photo. We take the shadows and we can almost, like, we can bring them up a lot to the point where it's actually too much. Like, it doesn't look pleasing. But yeah, a lot of shadow detail we can bring up with these 16-bit raw files. Now, let's say we go to these photos here. These are actually the ones that I don't really know shooting with the Hasselblad for the first time if we were going to recover a lot of those highlights or a lot of those shadows. And because this is a super high contrast scene, I exposed for the highlights outside, and just to give a quick test, if it brings back the shadows, and obviously it brings back the shadows, and we can still have plenty of room in our highlights. Now, one thing that I'm really excited about shooting with the Hasselblad is its 100 megapixels. That 100 megapixels allows you not only to get a cleaner and sharper image, but also to be able to crop into your images afterwards and still get a super high quality photo. So, for example, I'll show you a photo like this one here, maybe. This one's kind of like a full body, half body. We're still like super far away. And I can, we can see all the detail from this far away.
This is like incredibly sharp. Like I don't even know if it comes up this sharp on YouTube. I can crop in quite a bit. Like this is like, what, maybe like 10% of the frame, 20% of the frame, just like that. And we still get a super sharp and detailed image. So that's the nice thing about shooting with 100 megapixels. I can show you another example here. We have a photo that I took of Rob. Now I shot this at a little bit of a higher aperture, so we get a little bit more detail. Again, this is how the photo starts off with a little highlight adjustment, bring back the shadows. We can bring back a lot of detail. This is a power of 16-bit RAW. Now, if I zoom in, you can still see the crazy amount of detail in his beard. Every single little strand of hair you can see, which is absolutely crazy. All this skin texture, this is the power of 100 megapixels. Now, the first thing I noticed when importing these photos into Lightroom, taking a look at the photos, is the colors. Now, everyone raves about Canon colors, Nikon raw file colors. I'm telling you right now, nothing is more accurate than these files that I'm looking at right now. The colors are just so dang accurate. Everything is on point. And this is due to Hasselblad's natural color solution, which they've perfected over the years. And it's part of the reason why this camera actually has no picture profiles or any way to adjust the photos or the color in camera. Now, in terms of this 55mm focal length that I was shooting with, this is similar to a 43mm on full frame. And I chose this because it's the perfect middle ground. I really like 35mm for those wider environmental portraits, but I also like 50mm for those tighter portraits. And so this is kind of like the perfect in between. I was still able to capture these nice wide top angle kind of photos like this, but I was also able to get really close and take these like really up close portraits. And you can see just in the background, the aperture of f2.5, again, similar to like f2 on full frame. We can see this amazing bokeh that you get with this lens with medium format. And again, the level of sharpness in this camera, in the lens, this is just unreal. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's so insanely sharp. Overall, super fun experience shooting with this thing. I can't wait to shoot with it more. The one thing that I did really enjoy was, you know, I left the house heading to that photo shoot with my A7 IV for video, and then I obviously brought the Hasselblad, and halfway through while I was driving, I was like, did I forget my SD card? I always go through this thing where I was like, did I forget my SD card? Did I forget my CF Express card? This was like the first time I never had to worry about that with the Hasselblad because of its 1 terabyte internal storage. So that's a really nice feature, not having to worry about forgetting cards at home. You always have the internal storage to rely on. So yeah, that's basically my first impressions shooting with this camera. That's the first photo shoot, and there's gonna be plenty more. I have some lined up for this week, some for the next week after. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if you wanna know anything about the 907X, let me know down in the comments. If you wanna know anything about the lens, let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and you wanna see more, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.